Animal facts explained. There are over 200 species of owls on the planet. Some weigh less than a golf ball. Some can hear a heartbeat under 2 feet of packed snow. Some crash face first into the ground to catch their dinner. And one of them, one of the most famous birds in the world, only became a celebrity because of a children's book. In the next 10 minutes, I am going to explain every owl you need to know, starting with the one you already love.
Snowy owl. Wrapped in thick, white plumage, this heavy bird is perfectly evolved to survive the punishing cold of the Arctic tundra. Unlike most of its relatives, it hunts primarily during the daytime, a necessary adaptation when summer in the far north brings 24 hours of continuous sunlight. Their heavily feathered legs and feet act like built-in snow boots, keeping them warm while they wait patiently for lemmings to surface from beneath the snow. During years when food is scarce, they will fly far south into Canada and the northern United States, appearing on beaches and airport runways that closely mimic their flat, treeless native habitat. They gained massive worldwide recognition in recent years due to their prominent role in popular fantasy literature and film.
Great horned owl. Easily recognized by the prominent tufts of feathers on top of its head, this fierce predator is often referred to as the tiger of the sky. These tufts aren't actually horns or ears, but simply feathers used for camouflage and visual communication. They are incredibly adaptable, thriving in deserts, dense forests, and even city parks across the Americas. Their grip strength is legendary, requiring up to 28 pounds of force to open their talons, which allows them to take down prey much larger than themselves, including skunks, falcons, and other owls. They are one of the earliest nesting birds in North America, often laying their eggs in the dead of winter in nests abandoned by hawks or crows.
Barn owl. With its distinct heart-shaped face and pale plumage, this bird stands out from almost all other nocturnal predators. You can find them on every continent except Antarctica, often making their homes in abandoned structures, agricultural buildings, and quiet belfries. Instead of the classic hoot most people expect, they communicate with a series of raspy screeches and hisses. Their facial disc acts like a satellite dish, funneling sound directly to their asymmetrical ears, which allows them to hunt rodents in complete darkness with pinpoint accuracy. Farmers have long appreciated their presence, as a single family can consume thousands of mice in a single year, acting as highly effective natural pest control.
Eurasian eagle owl. Often considered one of the largest and most powerful owls on the planet, this apex predator dominates the rocky landscapes and woodlands across Europe and Asia. Their striking orange eyes and massive wingspan command respect, allowing them to hunt a staggering variety of prey, including foxes, young deer, and even other large birds of prey. They are incredibly resilient, making their nests on exposed cliff ledges, in hidden caves, or even on the ground in remote areas. Their deep, resonant hoot can be heard for miles across valleys, serving as a clear warning to rivals that the territory is occupied. Throughout history, their imposing presence has inspired numerous myths and legends across different cultures, often viewed as both symbols of deep wisdom and omens of doom. Great gray owl. Boasting the largest facial disc of any bird of prey, this majestic giant roams the dense boreal forests of the northern hemisphere. While they appear massive, much of their bulk is actually just an incredibly thick layer of fluffy feathers designed for insulation, making them surprisingly light for their size. Their hearing is so finely tuned that they can detect the heartbeat of a vole moving deep beneath 2 feet of packed snow. Once they pinpoint their target, they crash face first into the snow crust to grab their meal without ever actually seeing it. Because they live in such remote, quiet environments, they are naturally curious and often allow humans to approach quite closely without showing any signs of fear.
If you are enjoying this so far, the subscribe button is right there.
Spotted owl. With its dark eyes and mottled brown and white feathers, this elusive bird prefers the deep, shadowy canopies of old-growth forests in western North America. They are highly sensitive to their environment and require large tracts of undisturbed ancient trees to hunt flying squirrels and wood rats effectively. This strict habitat requirement made them a major focal point in environmental conservation debates during the late 20th century, symbolizing the clash between the logging industry and wildlife preservation. They are naturally calm and slow-moving, rarely building their own nests, and instead relying on naturally occurring tree hollows or the broken tops of massive evergreens. Their population remains fragile, closely monitored by biologists who track their distinct four-note hooting calls through the deep woods.
Screech owl. Measuring roughly the size of a pint glass, this master of disguise relies entirely on camouflage to survive in suburban backyards and mature forests. Their intricate feather patterns perfectly mimic the texture of tree bark, allowing them to disappear seamlessly into the trunk of a tree during the day. Despite their small stature, they are aggressive defenders of their nests and will dive bomb threats much larger than themselves. They have a varied diet that changes with the seasons, hunting earthworms and large insects in the summer while switching to small songbirds and mice during the winter months. Their call is completely unlike a typical screech, sounding much more like a soft, descending horse whinny that echoes through the trees at dusk.
Burrowing owl. This small, long-legged bird defies usual expectations by living entirely underground. Instead of nesting in trees, they take over abandoned tunnels left behind by prairie dogs, ground squirrels, or desert tortoises across the open landscapes of North and South America. They are active during the day, frequently seen standing on dirt mounds or fence posts as they keep a sharp lookout for insects and small lizards. When threatened, the young chicks can mimic the exact sound of a rattlesnake to scare off predators trying to enter the burrow. To keep their homes clean and attract beetles for an easy meal, they often decorate the entrances of their tunnels with animal dung.
Short-eared owl. Unlike many of its relatives, this nomadic bird prefers wide-open grasslands, marshes, and agricultural fields over dense forests. They get their name from tiny feather tufts on their heads that are so small they are usually completely invisible unless the bird is startled or defensive. You can often spot them hunting in the late afternoon or early evening, flying low over the grass with a distinctive, floppy wing beat that resembles a large moth. They are one of the most widely distributed birds in the world, capable of flying vast distances across oceans to colonize remote islands like Hawaii and the Galapagos. Because they nest directly on the ground, their chicks grow incredibly fast, wandering away from the nest into the tall grass long before they are actually able to fly.
Elf owl. Holding the title of the lightest and smallest owl in the world, this tiny creature weighs less than a golf ball and easily fits in the palm of a hand. They migrate from Mexico into the American Southwest each spring, making their homes in the abandoned nesting cavities created by woodpeckers in large saguaro cacti or sycamore trees. Because of their delicate size, they cannot hunt mammals or birds, feeding almost entirely on scorpions, centipedes, and moths caught in mid-air. When they catch a scorpion, they carefully remove the stinger before eating it or feeding it to their young. If danger approaches, they often play dead, going completely limp until the threat loses interest and moves away.